Steve Goddard to please come up. He's going to talk to us a little bit about Friends of Scouting.
So I'm here to represent the Bluegrass Council this evening and talk a little bit about some of the activities and stuff that the council puts on. First, I want to talk a little bit about scouting as it pertains to Garrett County. And I don't think that scouting has ever been as good as it is right now in Garrett County. I look around, I look at some of the leaders. There's a number of people in this room that I've shared a campfire with along a river or in the backcountry, or had, held some time at a camporee with. And I think that that's tremendous to see that we've got a lot of adult leaders that have been registered adult leaders for 5, 10, even 15 years. It's a pretty good deal. So if you're a registered adult leader, you want to just stand up right now. Stand up and get recognized. I think most of them are standing right now. So you guys want to just stand up. Once all you Cub Scouts stand up and turn around, look at these leaders. And let's give them a big thank you. As loud as you can. Stand up. Everybody stand up. As loud as you can. Say thank you. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you!
All right, that's awesome. You can go ahead and sit down. So there's some handouts that some of the Boy Scouts are handing out to some of the adult leaders. We're going to review that here in just a second. But first, I'd like to make a presentation to the pack and thank them for allowing me to come tonight and talk about the Friends of Scouting campaign for the Bluegrass Council. So if I could get some of the Weeblos too that are going to come into Boy Scouts to come and take this ribbon and put it on this flag. You guys want to do that? Come on, all of you guys come up. Not all at once. Yeah. So let's just tie this to the top of the flag. Here. Go ahead and pull it out. So soon when they cross over into Troop 180, they're going to have to learn to tie a lot of knots. I know some of them have had some experiences with the troop already. And it's good to see new scouts coming into the group. And it's certainly been a tradition for many years now that as the Aero of Light candidates cross over into the troop, that a lot of them go on and possibly become Eagle Scouts. So it wasn't all that long ago that Jonah Pfeiffer, who crossed over from this pack, went over to the troop and became one of the first Eagle Scouts from the pack to go to the troop. So, which is a pretty big deal. So I want to talk to you a little bit tonight about Friends of Scouting. The Friends of Scouting is a campaign where we solicit donations, and I'm not asking everybody to pull out a lot of money and give it to the Bluegrass Council tonight. We've all heard of the bankruptcy that's going on with the BSA right now, and that's really at the national level. I'm not really prepared to talk a lot about that, but when you look at the Bluegrass Council, it is a separate entity from the National Boy Scouts of America. They really just get the bylaws, the rules, and the program from the national organization, and they execute it here locally as a nonprofit organization. So what does that mean for the Scouts of the Bluegrass Council? Well, typically there's 55 counties that are represented in the Bluegrass Council, mainly in the eastern part. There's 6,000 Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, Explorers, and Venturers already in scouting this year. And that represents only 6% of the potential of scouting in eastern Kentucky. Of course, we've got Kankakee, that is owned by the Bluegrass Council. It's reserved for scouts, scouters, Cub Scouts, Weeblos, Boy Scouts to attend the camp. And as they go to Troop 180, Tony here is going to be escorting some of those new scouts to Kankakee this summer for a week-long expedition there as they learn about what the Boy Scouts will bring to them. They'll learn, fishing, swimming, shooting sports. They'll learn about ecology, things in the outdoors, and they'll learn basic knots, basic first aid, and things that will bring them along so that they can participate in some of the high adventure events once they get 13, 14 years old, like some of the scouts are going to be participating in this year. So, Boy Scouts of America owns 140,000 acres in New Mexico, plus they lease some other properties, and there's going to be 12 scouts and scouters that travel by train to New Mexico, and over the course of the next 4 months, these scouts and scouters are going to spend 30 nights in the wilderness together, and they're going to backpack about 200 miles all over the United States. So it's going to start off in Kentucky, Virginia, then they're going to take a train to New Mexico, and in June, the last part of June, for a couple of weeks, they're going to be going out there backpacking in the mountains. Every year, this troop does high adventure trips like that, and they have to meet some of those minimum requirements that they learn at Canton Key. Last year, we had a great privilege of having 2 high adventure trips. One was for basic high adventure training, where we canoed 60 miles or 65 miles down the AuSable River in Michigan. And then the older group went to the boundary waters between Canada and Minnesota, where we canoed another 65 miles and fished and caught fish every day and ate fish for dinner, which was a pretty big event. And then our event this year for some of the high adventure scouts. A few years ago, we did an ATV trek. That was, 75 miles, we never did measure it, over in West Virginia at the Scout Reservation there. And we've done many events all across the United States, from backpacking across Glacier National Park to canoeing off the coast of Georgia, island hopping on kayaks, not canoeing, but kayak. So we've done a lot of events throughout the years, and we look forward to continuing that. So what I'm asking for today is, last year I think the group here donated about $80 in total to the Friends of Scouting. Now what the Bluegrass Council provides is they have full-time staffers that maintain the office, that have a full-time staff or full-time ranger that maintains Canton Key. Plus there are numerous buildings out there at the camp that require updating on a regular basis. So you can either fill this out tonight. You get back to me with your pledge. A pledge of $20 or more will get you this Friends of Scouting patch, and then $250 or more will get you a shoulder strip, council strip. So I appreciate your donations. You can just be generous. If you don't have the money to donate tonight, you can still fill out the form, turn it in, and the Boy Scouts of America, or the Bluegrass Council, will bill you for that. None of this goes towards that bankruptcy. It all stays local with the Bluegrass Council. Matter of fact, most of it ends up at Canton Key, where a number of the scouts have an opportunity to earn scholarships for to attend the camp, or scholarships for uniforms or books if they don't have any of the funds that you donate. So please be generous. We'll have some of the scouts come around and collect these after this session. So I appreciate your time tonight, and thank you so much.